You may have already seen The Last Voyage of Demete, a chilling thriller about the ship Demeter transporting a mysterious coffin from Transylvania to London, where a bloodthirsty presence is discovered on board, turning the trip into a fatality combo.
Fatality.
Rest assured, this video is not just another summary. Today, I'm going to highlight the mistakes and discuss the best decisions that would definitely help the characters, or you beat the scary Dracula. So leave a like and grab your popcorn and let's get to the video. 1 month before the journey, the Demeter ship docked in Varna, Bulgaria, to load goods destined for London. The cargo, consisting of large wooden crates, was prepared by the residents of Romania. However, they refused to stay at the site after sunset, citing superstitions, which could arouse suspicions about the content of those wooden crates. Additionally, it's worth noting that some crew members abandoned the voyage upon noticing the image of a dragon on the crates.
Never said nothing about dragons.
Before setting sail, Clemens, a doctor trained in Cambridge, attempted to join the crew, arguing that his medical skills and knowledge of astronomy would be valuable. Despite the initial refusal, he ended up being hired when he saved Toby, Captain Elliot's grandson, from an accident during loading, where we almost witnessed the first fatality in the movie. However, we observed that the crate was damaged in the fall, and shortly afterward, during the journey, Clemens discovered a woman in the same crate, which is quite strange even for the time, and the crew should be attentive to this. Even with the crew considering the presence of a woman on board as a bad omen, Clemens assisted her and found out that she was infected, needing urgent transfusion. However, they had no idea that the woman was not the only intruder on that ship. A creature was on board, which is later spotted by Olgarin through the fog on the decks.
There is something out there.
Yes, it's Dracula himself who is here, and decided to attack all the animals on board, including Huck, Toby's dog. The crew thought it might be a contagious disease, and decided to throw everyone into the sea, thinking that the deaths were related to this supposed epidemic. It doesn't make sense, though, because if we carefully observe, all the animals are bitten, indicating that they were attacked by something, and they should start searching for the creature responsible for this. But Olgarin reveals he saw the creature the night before, but his lack of details and communication didn't make it clear what he saw. However, one of the sailors unfortunately spotted the creature, and without hesitation, pulled out a knife to attack Dracula, and as expected, he became our first fatality.
Fatality.
In a situation like this, it would have been more appropriate for him to scream for help. Considering we're dealing with Dracula, an extremely agile creature, it would have been more effective to surround and attack him with simultaneous blows from various different directions, thereby increasing the chances of injuring the creature. Clemens discovers the sailor's body, and Wojciech accuses the doctor of being responsible for the murder. However, Anna, the woman who was inside the box, attempted to reveal the truth about Dracula, stating that the evil was on board, information ignored by the crew members, who chose to search all compartments of the ship except the hold where the goods were stored. A grave mistake, as they had made hundreds of trips with this ship and never encountered a similar situation before. The only new elements on this journey were the doctor, Anna, and the goods they had never transported before, which should have been a red flag. Therefore, it would have been wiser to investigate the location where the box was stored, especially considering a woman was trapped inside it. However, night fell, and with it, Dracula's hunger, who wasted no time in attacking another sailor.
Fatality.
Unsatisfied, he also attacked Olgarin, who was severely injured and restrained by the crew, as he was having a fit of rage. At this point, the captain should have ordered the ship to return to a nearby port, but inexplicably, they chose to continue the journey towards England. While the crew searched for the creature on the ship, the captain instructed young Toby to seek refuge in his cabin. This was the wisest decision. However, the boy decided not to follow it, and for no apparent reason went to the ship's hold, where Olgarin was, and later managed to free himself from the restraints. The boy managed to hide, but the man began to break the door, leaving Toby in despair. Nevertheless, he demonstrated cunning by hitting the wood, creating a sound that reverberated through the ship's deck, alerting the sailors above. The crew promptly ran to rescue the boy, but Dracula was also there and attacked.
Fatality.
It's understandable that the boy was overcome by fear, but perhaps he could have gone to the door and pulled the latch, allowing the crew on the other side to enter. As for the crew, they could have forced the door open, but inexplicably, they chose to watch helplessly as Dracula devoured the boy. Finally, Anna took control of the situation and shot the door. But it was too late, as Toby had also been contaminated by Dracula. At that moment, Clemens attempted a blood transfusion on the boy, but apparently the prognosis was not favorable. Meanwhile, the crew tied Olgarin to the ship's mast, believing that he was possessed by a demon. Olgarin responded by stating that he felt great and could smell and hear better than ever, expressing the desire to devour them until not a drop of blood was left in their bodies. Fortunately, this didn't happen because the sun rose and revealed that the infected individuals burned when exposed to sunlight, indicating that he had turned into a vampire. Knowing this, the most sensible strategy is to lure the creature into the sunlight. However, Clemens and Anna opted for the bizarre idea of opening all the boxes in the basement and searching for the creature, conducting this search at night. This doesn't make sense, because they were hunting a vampire that weakens in sunlight, and the night makes it stronger. Therefore, this strategy would have been more efficient if they had executed it during the day, with the help of other crew members to increase the chances of locating the vampire. Moreover, during the day, the vampire wouldn't have the possibility to hide everywhere due to the presence of sunlight. However, their search yielded no results, and to make matters worse, the ship's cook chose to abandon the ship in an emergency boat, which proved to be a terrible decision. If Dracula wasn't hidden among the cargo, he would be on the deck. As expected, the creature was there.
Fatality.
The chain brought the boat back to the ship, and since the crew already knew that vampires burn in sunlight, it would have been more ideal to abandon the ship during the day, set the vessel ablaze, and escape in the small boat. With the ship on fire, Dracula would be forced to leave the hold and consequently be consumed by sunlight immediately. Thus, everyone would have the opportunity to survive and return home to show their support, liking and subscribing to the channel just like you all. However, before making any decisions, the crew chose to pay tribute to young Toby, who did not survive the attack. The captain, deeply attached to the boy, could not accept his fate. Before casting Toby's body into the sea, the captain noticed a movement and rushed to prevent it, an action that turned out to be a mistake because Toby had turned into a vampire and almost bit him. Fortunately, the vampire burned in the sunlight. After the mourning period, the group devised a sensational plan to defeat Dracula. Anna explained that the creature wasn't trying to hide from them but rather conserving food to have enough until they reached London. She revealed that she was there because the elders of her village offered her to Dracula as sustenance during the journey, explaining her presence in the box. But Clemens questioned why Dracula would have left Romania and hired the crew to take him to England. Anna claimed that he had no more people to feed on in his homeland, although this contradicted reality since 19th century Romania had a population of almost 6 million people, and surely Dracula didn't devour all of them. After this conversation, they put the plan into action, leaving only one exit to the ship's deck where the remaining sailors would wait with weapons to attack the creature. Okay, the plan was the best decision they had made so far, but splitting up didn't make sense, considering that Dracula would have to come out from a single location. Clemens noticed Anna's concern and asked what was wrong. She replied that Dracula was aware of their plan, something obvious, as they had discussed the entire plan out loud next to a creature with super sharp hearing. Moreover, they didn't check the weather forecast, and fog started to spread across the deck, obscuring the view of the sailors on standby. This created the perfect opportunity for the creature to emerge from the hold undetected and attack one of the sailors.
Fatality.
Wojciech ends up falling, and with not many options he decides to drive his axe into the ship's wood, causing water to begin entering. Although this works, it would take a long time to create a hole in the hull large enough to sink the ship, and if his goal was to destroy the vessel, it would have been more effective to use the lantern behind him to set the ship on fire. However, he chose to waste precious minutes trying to puncture the ship, becoming another victim of the vampire.
Fatality.
The ship's captain also met a cruel fate.
Fatality.
Now only Clemens and Anna remained alive, and the doctor decided to confront Dracula, claiming that he was mortal and could be destroyed. The creature fell into the trap and attacked the doctor, marking him with its claws. Anna seized the distraction to cut the ship's mast, which hit Dracula head-on. The two survivors seized the opportunity to leave the ship and clung to the floating wreckage in the water. At dawn, Clemens spotted England in the distance. However, his hopes of dining in a tavern with Anna were dashed. As she too was turning into a vampire, she revealed that she had been infected by Dracula from the moment he began feeding on her, and the transfusions performed by Clemens only delayed the effects of the infection. And eventually, she would also transform. The doctor suggested continuing the transfusions to prevent the transformation, but she refused, and at sunrise she sacrificed herself. Days later, we see Clemens tracking Count Dracula through the streets of London, as the creature also managed to reach the Queen's land. The Count confronted the doctor in a tavern, leading him to follow him down a dark alley. Swearing to avenge the memory of his comrades, Clemens vowed to kill Dracula and send him back to hell. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and share in the comments how you would defeat Dracula. Don't forget to subscribe for more adventures, and see you next time.